Hold on. If y'all can hear me, let me know. If you can hear me, let me know, cause okay, making sure my stuff is working over here. Cause I can't hear my video. Happy Sunday, Renee. Just making sure I seeing what's up with my volume. Oh, my bad. All right. I ain't struggling streaming no more. All right, let's get this thing started.
Murder of Sonya. We have an update. Cop found guilty for the murder of Sonya Massey, even though many in law enforcement said that this was justified, including Officer Tatum on his simple ass YouTube page, called it justified when he came on this show. A jury, the partner of the cop, and others said it was in fact murder. Here's a reminder.
The body camera video reveals the events leading up to the horrific scene.
What took you so long to answer the door?
Oh, I was trying to put on some clothes, sir. I'm sorry.
You doing all right mentally?
Yes.
Sure?
My medicine and stuff.
All right. Okay.
I love y'all. Thank y'all.
Inside the home, Sangamon County Sheriff's Deputy Sean Grayson can be heard asking Sonya Massey to check on the stove.
We don't need a fire while we're here.
Within seconds, things become tense.
Where you going?
Huh?
Where you going?
Away from your hot steaming water.
Away from my hot steaming water?
Yeah.
Oh, I would rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Huh?
I rebuke you in the name of
But I swear to God, I'll shoot you in your face.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Massey starts to set down the pot and apologizes. Grayson fires 3 times, striking her in the face.
Headshot wounded female, 1078.
Prosecutors say Grayson's partner tried to give the 36-year-old first aid, even though Grayson discouraged him.
His partner followed protocol all the way through. His partner testified that he was afraid of someone that night, but it wasn't Sonya Massey. It was, in fact, his own partner. Why would the cop be afraid of his partner? Because he saw his partner commit murder. That's the reason he's afraid. I want to remind you of how Grayson responded or acted after killing Miss Massey. Here it is.
That she was going to rebuke me in the name of Jesus and came out with boiling water. That's what all this is. I was standing right here.
All right.
And that's where he's landed.
What do y'all need from us?
Just nothing right now. Just hang out there for me. Thank you.
I need cranes to put them around the house if you guys can. But other than that, that's I think it.
Anything else, suspect?
Me?
Oh, I didn't know what happened.
You got any questions?
Yeah, I'm good. This bitch is crazy.
Eve Online. Grayson's partner, you see him here in this court sketch, is telling the jury tonight that Massey never seemed to be a threat that night last July.
His name is Deputy Dawson Farley, and he basically was immediately questioned by prosecutors. He was a witness for the prosecution about Sonya Massey and his feelings about what she did when she had that pot of water. They were asking him things like, were you nervous based on what she was doing? He said no. They said, were you worried she was going to hurt you? He said no. Then he went on to clarify that he was indeed scared that night, but not of Massey. Instead, he said he was scared of his partner, Sean Grayson.
Put it up. Full mass. In an update, a jury has found Officer Sean Grayson, former Illinois Sheriff's deputy, guilty of second-degree murder in the fatal shooting of Miss Sonya Massey. Grayson had been charged with a total of 3 counts in connection with Massey's death: first-degree murder, aggravated battery with a firearm, and also official misconduct. He pleaded not guilty to all counts. His attorney told ABC News the jury, made up of 9 white women, 1 black man,
9 white women,
and 2 white men, said he was guilty. County Sheriff's Deputy Dawson Farley, who responded to Massey's home along with Deputy Grayson, took to the witness stand on last week and testified that Massey did not appear to be a threat. Quote, "She never did anything that made me think she was a threat." End quote, Dawson said. Quote, "It was essentially the defendant's actions that raised my sense of awareness," Farley said of Grayson. During his testimony, Farley said that he wanted to, quote, "do right by Massey by testifying for the prosecution in this case."
I'm gonna pause it right there. Go ahead and get this thing kicked off. Happy Saturday, happy Saturday, happy Saturday. As you can see, I am back home off the road, but I still had to give you these podcasts while I was on the road, so I hope you enjoyed them. Our Tuesday live, my Wednesday historical video, Thursday interview with Dr. Joseph Webster. Dr. Joseph Webster gave a lot of good historical medical information, Black historical medical information for Tallahassee, Florida. And Friday, we had our Friday breakdown, as well as the video about the Stevie Knight over there jigabooing over the Sinners movies. And so it's Saturday. Happy Saturday, happy Saturday. It's November 1st. This year is almost over. The last 2 months, so we got to finish strong these last 2 months of this 2025. I hope the bulk of this year has been good to you, and if not, what are you going to do to make these last 2 months count? Because that's what it is about, finishing strong. It ain't how you start, it's how you finish, right? So today we're getting into 3 videos that's dealing with the police. At first, as you can see, the Sonya Massey video. Sean Grayson was found guilty of second-degree murder, and we're gonna break that down because I think it should have been first degree. They should have threw the book at his head, but we know that's not gonna happen. But that's what I wanted. But we're gonna dig more into this Sean Grayson, Sonya Massey case. When it first happened, we did a Friday breakdown of it, and of course, like the gentleman said in the video, we did a breakdown responding to Officer Tatum, who was caping for the white officers. But it's funny that Sean Grayson's partner is testifying against Grayson. I didn't see that coming. I really didn't see that coming, especially his actions in the video. I didn't see that coming, that he would testify against Sean Grayson, but he did. And as you can see, the gentleman said in the video that 9 white women were on the jury, and they still convicted him of the unaliving of Sonya Massey. So that's what we're getting into today. That's our first video. The second video is we're covering a video that happened in Charlotte, in the Gastonia area of Charlotte. Actually, Pat used to live in that area. A drug bust that went wrong that left a Black law enforcement officer shot by his own people, shot by the law enforcement officers that he was with, because he was Black and he looked like the person that they was going, according to them. Then our third video is a Black cop who's a pervert. As a Black cop who's a pervert who's preying on a Black woman. So these are 3 videos that we're getting into today, and just taking another look at what's going on with us by people who are supposed to be making sure they keep us alive and keep us safe. So we're gonna let people continue to roll up in here, but we're gonna do our thing. Happy Saturday, happy Saturday, happy Saturday. Please hit that like button, comment, subscribe, share, because we're talking about this update on what happened with Sonya Massey. Glenn Dawkins 1226, thank you for being in the building. Thank you for your comment. We're gonna always make sure we give you updates. We told you then when we did the Friday breakdown that we was gonna give you an update, and here we have the update. So it's Saturday, might as well go ahead and give it to you. Happen OG says, I unsubscribed after the post and not viewing the video. Probably your first mistake. Everyone but the Black cop has a name. It's a whole bunch of other cops that don't have names. I didn't name a whole bunch of cops. Slick optics and narrative versus math and historical oppression via police misconduct against Black Americans. Only one police officer was named. Only one. There's a whole bunch of police officers in the second story who were not named. You probably should have watched the video, OG. You probably should have watched the video. I'm just saying, there's a whole lot of cops that were not named in that post. And of course, the headline is about Sean Grayson. Why wouldn't it be? But there's a whole bunch of other cops that were not named. And in addition to that black perverted predatory cop that we're going to get into. So yeah. And happy Saturday to you, Renee. Thank you for being here. As always, I appreciate you. And you say absolutely appreciate all the knowledge. Thank you. I appreciate you being here supporting. And that's why we're going to keep doing what we're doing. We're going to keep keeping the knowledge, keep it going, and keep doing what we do. CDX, DX, 1SV, thank you for being in the building. Thank you for being in the building. So, like I said, we're talking about these police officers. What's going on, Renee? Thank you. As always, I appreciate you. But these police officers, right? Every now and then they got to come out and remind us that we living in the police state. Every now and then, some of the old ways have to happen, and they have to have some kind of physical reinforcement to let black people know that this is not our world. This is their world we live in. We live behind enemy lines, and all of the race soldiers have not converted to the new ways, and all of them are not expected to be converted to the new ways. And every now and then we get some Sean Graysons and some things like that is happening, and a lot more than every now and then. But because things are always in the news cycle, we got these 24-hour news cycles. It's a bit different. We become a lot more desensitized to the things that are happening, but a lot of things are still happening to us out here in this world when it comes to our relations with police officers. What's going on, Bungani? Respect and love to you. Thank you for being in the building. Amina up in the building. Love and light to you as well. You up in the building. Thank you for being here. Please, y'all, hit that like button when y'all come on in. And we have to remember to keep ourselves safe, right? What are the lessons that we can learn from these stories? Somebody like Sonya Massey was a black woman who was by herself. She was an easy target for a terrorist like Sean Grayson. And even his partner here, with the see it on the screen with that's his quote. But what did you do to de-escalate this situation? What did you do to try to help keep Miss Massey safe? Because from what we seen from the video, you pretty much were just going along. You didn't shoot, but you didn't try to stop Grayson or de-escalate anything. You should have did something as a partner to try to keep him safe. But I'm not saying that I'm unhappy that you're dropping this, but I am thinking, what could you have done more during that situation to try to de-escalate it, or even try to deter Grayson from pulling out a gun and pew-pewing Sonya Massey over a pot of boiling water? When the officer with the weapons, two of you all, two big white men with the weapons, feel like your life is in danger from a small black woman who has a pot of boiling water as her would-be only weapon, and she was not wielding it as a weapon. It was the perception of the cop after she said she played the blood of Jesus on him. Maybe them demons start waking up in them after she started pleading the blood of Jesus. Maybe them demons start waking up. I don't know. But she was definitely a victim. She was definitely by herself, and she was definitely in a place to where she had no. So we got to be able to look at that. What are the lessons that we can learn from these stories? PH Diva up in the building. My Rattler associate, my fellow alumni of the FAMU of the Highest of Seven Hills. How you doing? I'm hitting you up this week. I'm back in town. I ain't do nothing today. I was supposed to get out the house today. I ain't do nothing today. I was tired, man. After coming off that road, I was tired. But I'm hitting you up this week, and we're gonna chop it up. Definitely gonna chop it up. So let me finish running my mouth and go ahead and get back into this video, but laying the groundwork and foundation for what we're getting into. Looking at these cops again, man. What can we learn about our interactions with police officers that can help keep us safe? Or what can we do differently as a community to build ourselves to keep ourselves safe? But yeah, let's go.
I want to back up just for a moment. What the officer is saying under sworn testimony is that he saw a murder take place.
Right.
The killer happened to be his partner.
Right.
And he's doing the right thing by testifying for the prosecution in order to do right by Ms. Massey or to serve justice.
Wait, what's this box?
Remember that survey I filled out?
In this matter, I can appreciate a truthful testimony in the day of the week. But until we get...
I appreciate you. Yeah. Went down to Orlando for a conference. Hey, man, excellent conference. Shout out to the people who put on the conference, man. Excellent conference. I learned a lot that I can use to help the young black men that I work with. So excellent conference. So yes, thank you. Mangani says unify and create a black. Yeah, the first is unify. We got to get to the point where we can do that first. We got to shake off these chains. We got to shake off these chains and stop finding everything to fight against each other. Shake off these chains so we can unify and keep ourselves safe. Diaspora wars my ass. We find everything to fight about. Black folk don't need to be fighting with each other about nothing.
Get to a space where Deputy Grayson is arrested by his partner on the spot. We still got a whole lot of work to do until we get to a place where when Grayson pulled out his weapon
and the partner ain't do nothing.
The partner pulls out his weapon on Grayson.
I'm just saying.
Why are you pulling out your firearm on this woman who's turning down
statements,
boiling water? Now, until we get to those spaces,
I'm just saying
there is no celebration because Miss Massey is dead.
And it's second degree.
And there is no verdict that will bring her back.
Right.
The prosecution played Grayson's partner's body cam footage of the shooting in a monitor, causing multiple family members of Massey to cry. They also had to leave the courtroom, understandably so. According to WICS, Grayson leaned forward over a table, not watching the monitor. One juror appeared to cry as she watched the footage, holding a notepad up to her face in an attempt to hide behind it. That's according to WICS. Following the 7-day trial, the jury was given the option of considering second-degree murder, according to ABC station WLS in Chicago. Grayson's sentencing is set for January 2026. He could be sentenced from 4 to 20 years in prison or be given probation. The jury was instructed not to deliberate on the lower charges.
And what they do?
Let's put them up. We got Ben Crump. We have Antonio Romanucci. Attorneys for Massey's family said in a statement Wednesday that the, quote, verdict is still a measure of justice for Sonya Massey. They added accountability has begun. And we now hope the court will impose a meaningful sentence that reflects the severity of these crimes and the life that was lost.
What is a measure of justice? I don't think that we've ever fought for a measure of justice. I believe we fought for justice, period. But let me read a little bit from this article that I have from NBC News about it. So it says, Sean Grayson, a former Illinois sheriff deputy, was convicted Wednesday of second-degree murder in the 2024 death of Sonya Massey, a black mother of 2 who called 911 about a possible prowler. Now, remember, she called because she thought somebody was peeping around her house and trying to look in her house or even get into her house. And the terrorist who got into her house was the actual police officer. Grayson was charged with first-degree murder, but jury instructions included the option to convict him of the lesser charge of second-degree murder, and they exercised that option clearly. Why? I don't know. Jurors deliberated for almost 12 hours after closing arguments ended late Tuesday morning. Grayson's family cried and held hands as the verdict was read. Why? Oh, yeah, that's right. Y'all did birth him. That's right. Outside the courthouse, prosecutors celebrated the guilty verdict and chanted, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." That's funny. They mocking him. "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus," because that's what Sonya Massey said before Grayson pulled out his weapon and fired upon her. She said, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." And like I say, them demons got to jumping up in him. Them demons had to get jumping up in him because he took that. I believe he took it as a threat, and he took her out. Facts, Joseph. That's just right. It's either justice or it ain't no measure of justice. Those that's just semantics, man. Y'all just talking at that point. You talking about the measure of justice. Measure my foot going in your ass. How about that? Attorneys Ben Crump and Antonio Romanucci, who represented her family in a $10 million civil settlement, said that they believe Grayson's actions warranted a first-degree murder conviction, but that it was still right. And this is what Ben Crump is saying. It's still a measure of justice for Sonya Massey. So, old buddy got his hands on some of the same article I have, but that's bull. Like, but you know, Ben Crump is a civil attorney, so not necessarily a criminal attorney. So Ben Crump be looking for measures of justice. I'm fueled by rage right now. Sante Massey, one of Sonya's cousins, said outside of the courthouse, if you get an officer who says he's going to shoot you in the face and then he shoots you in the face and you only get a second-degree murder, right? Because at that point, ain't that premeditated? I'm going to shoot you in the face because you have a boiling pot of water and I'm at a distance that's still far enough to not be affected, but I have a more deadly weapon than you have, but I'm afraid, so I'm going to shoot you in your face and then do it. Former federal prosecutor Mark Chutko said the defense made a strategic decision to include the second-degree murder charge. Why? The prosecution likely felt confident about their case and was willing to go for an all-or-nothing verdict, but the defense did not want to take that chance, so they advocated for a lesser included charge. And so, okay, so it seemed like the defense might have been playing a little more of a strategic game than the prosecutor to go ahead and get what they can, the lesser charge, to not get the book thrown at him, because it seemed like the prosecutor was trying to throw the book at him as much as they can, but the defense kind of finagled them, but also finagled the jury to go ahead and get a lesser charge, that second-degree charge, and not throw the book at Grayson's ass, even though Grayson need to have that book thrown at his ass for doing what he did. He's a terrorist. Terrorists need to be thrown under the jail. That's what happens, right? Grayson faces 4 to 20 years in prison for second-degree murder. Under state law, he would most likely be eligible to get a day-for-day credit for good behavior in prison, meaning he could end up serving only half his sentence. Wow. Massey's father, James Woodbourne, said he hopes the judge gives Grayson the maximum sentence. He showed no remorse. He was so cocky throughout this whole trial until he was convicted. Woodbourne said, yeah, that knocked the smirk off of him. Yeah, I mean, but I don't have no faith in the system giving that man what he deserves. I don't have a faith in that he would get what he deserves. I don't. Yeah, they need to throw the whole jail at his ass for doing what he did. You know, he's a coward. He's a typical coward, but also a suspected white supremacist, right? Because that's what they do. They take out our people. That's what they instructed to do. They still go by the old ways. He still use force in that manner to take our people out. Suspected white supremacists. And that's a possibility too. That's a possibility too, depending on how they work it. Now, I doubt that he would just get probation. I really do doubt that, because that will cause a lot of public backlash and some uprising stuff that I don't think that they want to deal with. So I doubt he get probation. I doubt he's going to spend some time behind bars. Like, he's going to spend some time behind bars, but he's not going to get the justice that he needs to get. It's the system. The jury has already started that ball to roll in motion. So says the typical nothing. It's a nothing verdict. A typical lawyer politics, always trying to secure the lesser sentence. Then, yep. They're being strategic. They were, just like I said, the defense is being strategic. And you also say it's yet another situation where black people in general smile at a winning battle. But right, but well, of course it's the overall thing, right? That's what this whole live today is about. Like, The whole war is, these are still soldiers of the system, and being soldiers of the system, these things still happen on a regular basis. And why are these things happening? Because we're still under the thumb, and they have to remind us that we're under the thumb, right? But they all still operate in the best interest of the system. And they operate in the best interest of the system, they're going to take out what is perceived threats. Even if you are not a real threat to them, you are a threat. And then you got people like Ben Crump and them that's trying to get a come up, you know, what they call it, what kind of justice that they said it was? What he said? What did he say? Let me try to read this thing again. A measure of justice. That's all Ben Crump and them trying to get, is a measure of justice. Ambulance chasers, but you know. But let's let the video roll on a little more.
We will continue to fight for Sonya's family and for reforms that protect everyone from unlawful use of force.
Imagine being able to build anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44, a complete AI creation platform made for anyone with an idea.
I'm going to highlight something in that video. When you have a moment, you can go back and listen to it in its entirety. But it breaks your heart when you hear it. When the officers first arrived, Ms. Massey said something.
What did she say?
She says, "I love y'all." She says, "I love y'all." That's how she greets them as they are walking inside of her home.
The beasts don't have no love in their heart. Terrorists don't have no love in their heart. Clearly. See their actions. She starts with the greeting of "I love you." And look at the actions. The beast have no love in their heart. And like Nemesis is saying, look, man, that's why we do these, that's why we talk about these things on this channel. This is nothing new. Things like this have been happening over and 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 over. That's why we keep talking about the overall war versus just the battles. We may get victories here and here and here and here, but until we have a total overhaul of the system of white supremacy and it's totally replaced with the system of justice, we're gonna keep having these one-offs. Forget the one-offs, we wanna win the war. Forget the battles, we want to win the war. We've learned from history that just winning a battle is not enough. We've learned from Haiti. No disrespect to Haiti, but we learned from Haiti that winning significant battles is not enough. We need to win the whole war. We need to have the resources and everything in place to win the whole war. What have we learned from history? What are we learning? I keep asking that. What are we learning from history? White people never just look for a man. Right. It's either justice or it ain't. It's either justice or it ain't. That's like somebody asking you, or you being a landlord and you asking for a measure of your rent. No, I don't want no measure of my rent. I want my whole rent. We want the same thing. We don't want no measure of justice. Ben Crump, go to hell. We want all of our justice. Moment I hear love to unknowns. Right. Hey. Well, she found out that they have no love for her. She found out because we keep trying to appeal to the senses and the moralities of beasts, of terrorist people, of people who subscribe to the system of white supremacy. Temporary people, we call it that too. But I tell you what, we're not getting the victories that we need. We're not winning the war. We're not on top. We don't have no power. We're not in the position to better protect ourselves. I agree. We're calling that temporary appeasement because it's not a real victory. It's not something that leads to an overall outcome that makes our situation better or our situation safer. Why are we back to this every single year? I guarantee you I have a story like this next year. I guarantee you next year we have a story like this. Guarantee you. So the question is, what are we going to do something about it? I mean, what are we going to do about it? And when are we going to do something about it? what, and when. And y'all, please hit that like button as you come in. Please hit that like button, comment, subscribe, share. We know YouTube is shadow banning like a mug. YouTube be shadow banning, but we're going to be breaking through that shadow ban. We're going to keep going. And happy Saturday to everybody. Thank you for coming in. Let's keep the video going.
There's no warrant. They don't have a right to be there. She's not the target of an investigation. What did they investigate? She called the police for help. They are there to protect and serve her. Instead, she gets murdered. At least the wheels of justice are moving in the right direction, but obviously this shouldn't even be a story if we did not have out of control officers in jurisdictions across this nation. All right, Yasmin, thoughts here.
Yeah, you know, something that's so sad about these stories is that I remember reading about this case, and I think I was even on this show discussing this story when it first came out. It's hard to keep track of these incidents, though, because they happen way too often. Like, how often is someone who is just innocently at their home, sleeping, doing whatever, not being a threat to anyone, how often is their home invaded by the cops and then they're killed, right? Like, that sounds like such a ridiculous scenario, but it is happening way more often than it ever should. What doesn't happen often enough is that these people are held accountable, that these cops are found guilty of the crime.
Now, you're right, Nemesis. We do need the community. We need the people who give a damn to come together and show the actions of giving a damn, showing the actions of giving a damn, building community so we can better protect ourselves. And we can take the lessons that we've learned from history and actually apply them. But are we actually really learning from history? It ain't nothing new, man. I know a lot of young folk think this is new, but this ain't new. And a lot of older folk, that like they got memory lapses or something. What are we doing here? This is America. Remember when Buddy put that song out, "This is America"? Everybody like, yeah, this is America, this is America. Did y'all forgot? I think because you have proximity to white people. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, and I'll say it again. I said it before and I said it again. And we said it when we was reading the compensatory code. We're not out here convicting all white people, but what we are doing is calling out behaviors and the cultural behaviors and cultural settings and national things that have happened in America. Things that have happened in America on a national level, on a historical level in this nation of people who are white, right? So if you're a white person and the shoe fits, that's your fault. If the shoe don't fit, then we ain't talking to you. Same thing we got to tell our people when we talking about our women, when we talk about our men. Same thing, we got to placate the people's feelings because people don't know how to understand generalities and stuff no more. But what I'm getting at, though, is it's understanding the culture of America that we live in. I have some amazing white people in my life who have been very instrumental in helping me move forward in my life. But that doesn't take my eye off the larger picture of the system of white supremacy that still exists around us. I still understand that the system of white supremacy exists. I understand why it exists, where it exists, who it exists for, why it came up, everything, and how it affects us. Because I've been studying it since I was 18 or 19. And I'm not going to stop studying it no time soon. I see how my communities look. I see how my city looks. I see how even the people who's supposed to be fighting for us, their actions, so they're not. I judge people by their actions, not by their words, right? I hear people say stuff all the time. Hell, we gotta get out of our feelings, man. I know we used to people making us feel good and we want people to make us feel good, but getting out of our feelings and start judging people by their actions, right? We live in a nation where the culture of white supremacy still exists. Why does the culture still exist? You tell me that. For all the people who will be like, well, you're some good white people. I'm not denying that, but answer me this. Why does the culture of white supremacy still exist in this nation with all these good white people? Right? Because a good number of them subscribe to that culture. That's how we still get these things that are happening with the police, or excuse me, race soldiers. Because Sean Grayson is a race soldier. Sean Grayson is not a police officer. He's a race soldier. If we're gonna tell the truth, we're gonna tell the truth across the board. And I understand. I trust me, I'm gonna get the backlash. I'm gonna be the one that getting shadow banned for it. I'm gonna be the one getting called the racist. I'm be the one getting said who's being told I hate women. I'm being the one who's being told I hate black people. But we still gonna tell the truth. And the truth of the matter is understanding this world that we live in, understanding the system that we live in, understanding that a good number of police officers, a good number of race soldiers, they pose themselves as police officers. There's a difference between a police officer and a race soldier. And a good number of race soldiers present themselves as police officers. That's how we're still where we are to this day. What are we learning from history? Are you learning? I forgot I can't bang on the table. Are you learning from history? What did we learn from this Sonya Massey incident? What did we learn from it? Did you even know that there was a lesson in this? Because we can't continue to be here year after year after year after year. Something got to give.
Crime that they committed. And as you said, like, this should have never gone to such lengths. You know, it was so obvious what had happened there. But like you said, any kind of justice in the right direction is something that we need to be celebrating, because we want to see more of that, right? We can criticize the way.
No, we don't want a piece of justice. You don't talk for us. We don't want a piece of justice. You give us all our justice, or you don't give us nothing at all. Then we need to stop fighting for a piece of crumbs. Being crump now. But once again, we've already kind of concluded that the defense was a lot more crafty than the prosecutors, which is sad.
It was done. We can say here are ways that it could have been better, but we still need to celebrate that this was the right thing that was done. It doesn't bring back the victim, but hopefully it can help prevent further victims from this type of violence in the future.
But it won't.
In the meantime, we still have the issues with these cops, right? There's the qualified immunity, the reasons why they think that they're safe to behave this way with people, to go so far as to take people's lives, to traumatize their families, to take mothers away from their children, and vice versa. They have very little fear of any
at all. Shut up, girl. What are you talking about? But it won't. That won't keep us safe. Right. That won't keep us safe, lady. It won't, and it won't, no matter how bright your skin is, how straight your hair is, you got a little too much tint in your skin, and they will never let you in. So none of that you saying gonna allow these folk to really like you. But our lives are on the line. Our lives are at the expense of this. So forget you. Hell on, girl.
Kind of retribution. And that alone is a huge problem, especially when you consider, the people who become cops, like, they're not, as far as we know, they're not being vetted as far as, like, are you racist? Do you have racist tendencies? Do you,
like, just because the thing should be, the behavior is not being deterred. That's the thing. The behavior of the leading black people is not being deterred from these officers of the law. It's not being deterred at all. So what are we talking about? If the behavior is not being deterred, how is that justice? Just to say, okay, well, we'll sit him down for a few years and get him off the street for a few years, but then come back. But there are other race soldiers in police officer uniforms who still performing their duties. So what are we talking about? Justice is deterring the behavior, making sure that other officers understand that there are harsh consequences and repercussions to deleting people. And if that's not happening, what are we talking about? Because right. Come on, man. Black people, we gotta keep our eyes open, man. Dr. Clark told us we don't have no friends. Dr. Clark told us we don't have no friends.
You look down on people. Does power go to your head the minute that you have a gun in your hand? Because the answers to a lot of those questions are probably yes. And the reason why I say they're probably yes is because we keep seeing incidents like this one, incidents that people don't like to say that they're always racially motivated, but it's really hard to argue that they're not sometimes, especially when you just look at the trends. We look at the people who tend to be involved on the wrong side of these incidents, and we look at the people who at the cops, Yeah. And also like the fact that, you have these people, they interview for a job, you give them a job, and then they're giving deadly weaponry, and then they're given deadly force, and they're told, do what you got to do to protect yourself, and don't worry about it. You're not going to go to jail if you have to shoot somebody. Of course, that's going to go to anybody's head. Most people would have a hard time not letting something like that go to their heads, not letting something like, shooting somebody become normalized, because that is the environment and the atmosphere that they're working in. It's an atmosphere where that type of violence, that kind of responses, they're not necessarily celebrated, but they're definitely excused, right? They're definitely normalized. They're not punished, like maybe they would.
Well, you just said it right there, lady. You just said it. They're not punished. So why would it stop if the behavior is not punished? So Black people, we got to wake the hell up. So how do we keep ourselves safe in an environment where the officers of the law are being terrorists, are being race soldiers, and when they take out one of us, they don't get any real punishment? So what have you learned? What have we learned from this Sonya Massey situation? What are we learning from what this young lady is saying? What are we learning? I want y'all to get in the comments, get them Twitter fingers going, get in the comments and tell me, what are we learning? What are we learning from this? This lady is just articulating that, hey, no matter what, there will be no punishment for these officers, these race soldiers. So, Black people, what are we learning? What have we learned? What do we do? Oh, of course, Oh yeah. But even not even getting, you don't even have to get to the grand answer. But one of the first steps is us coming together. Oh man, but that's so hard. That's too hard for us to do. For Black people to actually get together and love each other, and not even love each other, just unite for a common cause to protect ourselves. We've been programmed to operate as individuals in so much, and a lot of us won't be willing to give up them crumbs. Be careful when calling the police. Do not live in predominantly white neighborhoods. Hey man, that's a start. It's a start. But also in Black neighborhoods, we have to demand better. We have to be the Black people who live in Black neighborhoods that demand better. That all the actions that we demand better. If you throw a piece of trash on the ground in our neighborhood, we gonna whoop your goddamn ass. You should want better in this neighborhood. Don't you ride through here with your music loud. We're going to operate as a group of people who got sense, as a united group of people who got sense, who can work together. You're not going to come in our neighborhood. You're not going to come in our community with that Negro stuff. You take it back to where you came from. Starting like there, so we can get to things like this. So we can get to a point where we don't even have to call the police for situations, because our behavior is on such a level that no police will need to be called, because we're loving each other. We're taking care of each other. Yeah. On community police, because we're policing ourselves, because we're working together. We're being smart. We're being loving. We're being caring. Everybody talking about, you love being Black. I love Black people. All this. Our actions don't show it. It's time for the talk to stop. It's time for the show it in our actions. If you if you a whole bunch of black people, y'all talking about y'all love black people, show it in the actions of your community. What is your community like? How do you all get down in your community? Right? Neighborhoods don't make a difference. It's what you can bring to bear. The only true way to police the police is to supersede the police. Yep. Starting up. Starting somewhere. Real unity. Starting somewhere. Start in your neighborhood. Start in your community. Start in your little area. What are we doing? Community is the word, but community can never happen if we don't start somewhere. We got to keep ourselves safe. But that's enough of this video. We get the point. We get the point. Sean Grayson is, the jury had a chance to take a lesser degree murder, and they did. So what that tell you? Once again, they said most of the jury looked like him, so they might have had compassion for him. So they gave him the second degree, even though he should have got the first degree. So yeah, but please hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and share, because we cooking over here. We getting into it. We're talking about real solutions, real things, getting our mind in the place of real community, like building real community. Oh, always on the table. Always on the table. It's always on the table with one of them. Always. What Neely Fuller said, they control all 9 areas of human activity. They control all 9 areas of human activity. So what does that tell you? Is we're always going to be at their mercy if they're going to continue to be in control of all 9 areas of human activity. So at what point do we say, we might want to do something different for ourselves so we can have control over something for us? Control over something. All right, so that's the Sean Grayson story. So this next story, it was a drug bust going on in Gastonia, Charlotte area, and the one of the black officers that was with them end up being shot by his peers, and that was like because he was black. So yeah, we're gonna get into that, but that's another the second story that we're getting into. But going back to one of the first comments, where the happened OG was like, he unsubscribed because I only named Sean Grayson. Well, I ain't named none of these officers in this story either. So, all right. But let's get it.
Only on WBTV, new video sheds important light on the devastating consequences of a federal task force bust gone wrong.
Yeah, the video comes as a result of WBTV fighting and winning for its unsealing in federal court. Investigative reporter Naomi Coles walks us through it.
It's the early morning hours of November 1st, 2019. A man walks out of his home in Northwest Charlotte. Moments later, an FBI task force waiting outside closes in as he runs back into the house. From Gastonia Police, this is Task Force Officer Clarence Belton. These are his task force partners, and this is CMPD Officer Heather Loveridge and her partner. They're not on the task force, but according to court filings, they've been called in for perimeter support. The task force has a search warrant as part of a drug investigation. What's about to happen after this man runs inside has become the subject of controversy and the lawsuit that spent years slogging its way through federal court.
I've got 45 years of law enforcement experience.
This is Dr. Roy Taylor, who I asked to watch the video with me. He's a police litigation specialist and longtime police chief with experience on federal task forces like this one. He has no connection to the incident or the lawsuit, but he researched both at my request.
I'm going to start it right before the suspect runs into the garage in the house.
Belton and his partner, just off screen, are about to use a battering ram to take down the door. When they do, court filings say a woman is standing there, just off screen, with a gun pointed at them. Belton and his partners shoot. Belton feels his arm go numb, his gun drops, and he collapses and will later testify that he crawled and stumbled out of the garage while continuing to take fire. It's hard to see here.
It adds legitimacy to the fact that he was actually crawling. There he is right there. You can just make out his profile.
As he crawls, CMPD officer Loveridge fires at him. Records say it was 14 times. Loveridge would testify in court. She had heard the shots fired in the doorway, saw no officers left in the garage, and thought Belton was the suspect. Belton was the only black officer on the task force, and the suspect, Loveridge had been told, was also black.
If a person is crawling toward you without a visible gun, is that something you can shoot at?
Absolutely not. Irrelevant that it's a police officer. It wouldn't matter if it was the suspect or the woman that pulled the gun or an innocent person in the house. There's no justification for firing that weapon.
Belton survived, but with permanent injuries.
Officer down, start that way.
He's suing Loveridge in the city of Charlotte for negligence. At the heart of the case, a test of the leading legal decision that governs much of the modern-day use of force nationwide. That's Graham versus Connor, a Charlotte incident that went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court in 1989. It's a legal decision that Dr. Taylor says all officers, including those at CMPD, are trained on multiple times.
Her defense, this is a very quickly unfolding, dangerous situation, but again, you don't use deadly force unless there is a threat of deadly force being used against you or somebody else.
But there are larger issues at play, as this video shows. Loveridge, for example, has pointed to how difficult it was to see the words police on Belton's vest. Dr. Taylor sees this case as one where different decisions from the task force after the suspect ran inside could have changed the outcome.
This is much more than a few task force officers really should.
Oh, my bad. Appreciate that, Nemesis. Now, I was saying that the deadly force and the the determining factor for the officer was his skin tone. That was the tipping point. That was the deadly force, his skin tone. That's why he got lit up by his supposed colleagues.
Good tackle. They really should pull back, secure the perimeter, and wait for reinforcements to come.
Is there a larger conversation to be had about the training and the regulations for these types of missions?
I think so.
1223, we got shots fired out here on Oakburn.
Reporting in Charlotte, Naomi Coles, WBTV, on your side.
What's the problem? Your gym muscles don't work.
And then going with these little weak commercials. But so let me stop sharing it so get that little weird commercial off there. But it's saying video footage from inside of a man's garage showed the moment a Charlotte Mecklenburg police officer fired her gun 10 times, injuring a Gastonia police officer while serving a warrant in 2019. The unsealed video showed officers, including former CMPD officer Heather Loveridge, and there go a name for you, OG, Heather Loveridge, swarming the home of a man who was accused of trafficking methamphetamine. It was part of an FBI operation. Loveridge can be seen in the video firing her gun multiple times. She shot former officer Clarence Belton. In footage, the suspect could be seen walking out of his garage with the trash bag toward his driveway. Another video from the front of his home showed him running back inside his home through his garage. In the garage video, Loveridge is shown firing her gun in the garage where several officers were grouped near a door. The officers ran out and one appeared to limp out. So she just like closed her eyes and just shot. No, she saw black and just closed for more black and just shot black, right? The videos were unsealed after judges in the 4th U.S. District Court of Appeals overruled a federal judge in Mecklenburg County. So they were trying to seal these videos. Why were they trying? Well, we know why they were trying to seal the videos, but I want to ask, why were they trying to seal the videos? Well, we know. The videos were unsealed. What? District Court Judge Max Cogburn Jr. denied a request to unseal the video by Gray Media owned WBTV in 2024. Cogburn said Loveridge's right to a fair trial overweighed the media's First Amendment right to access the footage. So her right to a fair, so omit critical evidence because we want to preserve a person's right to the fair trial, but forget the rights and the humanity of the person who was victimized. Yeah. Yeah, because yeah. But appellate judges disagreed, saying Leverage did not present any evidence, reasoning, or argument as to why specifically her right to a fair trial would be impacted. Right. According to a lawsuit filed by Belton, Leverage was suspended and cited to the Civil Service Board for termination following reviews from the State Bureau of Investigation of CMPD's Independent Shooting Review Board. Belton was seriously injured in the shooting but survived. He left law enforcement after. Mecklenburg District Attorney Spencer Merriweather did not charge Leverage. Right. I mean, nothing happened. At the end of the day, nothing happened. But I thought this was interesting because we're talking about black people being victimized by the police in the first story via the Sonya Massey story. And this one is a black officer, a black law enforcement officer being victimized by his own peers and nothing happening to his peers. And I guarantee you, he was one of the ones who said that he could probably go and change the system from the inside. That's not how systems are changed. So whether you're a civilian or you're an officer of the law, if you're a black person, your chances of being victimized by other officers of the law is increased, and there's a high chance of it. What are we learning? What are we learning? Well, one thing that we have learned is our individuality, our rugged individualism, and our stubbornness to stay individuals keeps us vulnerable. So we're always vulnerable to the attacks and the advances of rogue race soldiers. Rogue race soldiers would continue to pick us off one by one whenever they get a chance to, because they can. Because what are we going to do about it? And there's no real punishment. And that's just not those rogue race soldiers. Those are people who support the system of white supremacy or support what other supremacy, or people who are just enemies of us or who are just against us because we're black people. And because historically, all these people have always been enemies to us. So what do we do different? What are we learning? Right? This unity thing. Maybe want to give that a try. Maybe we want to try relating with each other better. You know? Maybe. Or I could be wrong. Or we just want to remain easy targets for our enemies. We could do that. We could remain easy targets for our enemies, but stop complaining. We have solutions to a lot of our issues, but we don't exercise the solutions. We don't take action. I'm just saying, we got to be better. So not even getting to the fact that the same dynamics with the lawyers, judges, and the Supreme Court. Right. At the end of the day, if you don't have the skin, you ain't in. If you don't have the right color skin, you ain't in at the end of the day. It's systematic for a reason. Whether you are a civilian, an officer of the law, a lawyer, a judge, on any level, any level within law enforcement or outside of it, or in just civilian life, if you don't learn to protect yourselves, you're going to always be a victim. You're going to always get bullied. We are the perpetual kids on the playground who get bullied by the bullies every day. We get sand kicked in our faces every day because we soft. We raised our kids to be soft. We don't have no respect no more. We don't have no morals no more. We don't have no structure, no discipline. We can't expect to build community with a group of people who are afraid of their children. How are you afraid of a 2-year-old? I remember listening to some grown women talking about they're afraid of a 2-year-old. Please. If we can't even discipline 2-year-olds, how do we discipline ourselves enough to be able to go out and organize? Our kids don't respect us, and they don't. I understand why they don't respect us. The adults haven't given the kids nothing to respect, trying to be their friends and stuff. The rugged individualism. I don't need nobody. I can do it all by myself. That's what black people always. I don't need no other black people. Forget. They always listen about you. You need to cut people off. Stop choosing people that you need to cut off. What he said, don't worry. Umar Gooden gonna do some rap music. Hey, I'm just saying. Right. Because it's the music that's gonna save us. It's the arts that's gonna save us. It's the speeches that's gonna save us. It's this podcast that's gonna save us. No. As much as I love doing this podcast and I love y'all tuning in, it's the real work that we do on a regular basis. The things that I say on this podcast should spur us into action in real life. And if it's not, you're not listening right. If you leave this podcast and you don't have some gumption to go do something in your community, either you ain't listening right or I ain't delivering right. But we got to go back to spurring real action. Spurring real action in our community. How do we make things better? What lane are you working in, and what do you need to be better? What do we need to do better to be better? That's like me going to this conference this past week to up my skill set to be better at what I do in my community. Everything needs to lead to something, and it has to be constructive. All of our behaviors and our actions need to be constructive to keep ourselves safe. And if it's not constructive, throw that shit away. Now, this last story is Freaky Deaky, black officer. This is a black police officer who is a sexual predator, and he's preying on a black woman, unfortunately, being a sexual predator. He need his ass whooped. So we're gonna get into it. I saw it yesterday, and it made me mad that one of our own officers decide to prey on a black woman. Once again, she's in a vulnerable position, and she's also a part of the vulnerable population. All right. So let's get into it. And I'm warning you, this might make you a little mad, might be a little trigger warning, because this is a black man doing this. Of course, I'm mad at Sean Grayson, but this is a black man. So he gonna get it worse over here. Please hit that like button, comment, subscribe, share, hit that super like button. You can hit the super chat. You can do a super chat, hit that hype button. We got to do everything to break through the shadow ban and break through the hate. There's a lot of hating going on too, but we gonna keep doing what we got to do.
And then he was just like, I see why your baby daddy beating you up. You must got some fire head. You must got some fire. And I'm like, what? He tried to make me suck his. I cannot get over that, bro. I'm traumatized. You a cop. You supposed to be protecting and serving.
When a woman calls for help following a domestic dispute, the situation rapidly spirals into disturbing allegations of police misconduct. As an investigation gets underway, authorities are left questioning where the truth lies and if one of their own could really do the unthinkable.
Got on the stand and literally lied to the judge and everything to save your. I don't recall. This time I recall every you going down.
The following is based on official police.
But also, this is another display of our dysfunction as black males and black females. How the generational insanity passed down has us behaving in these dysfunctional ways. You said don't forget to name his name. Mean the officer in this video. I have to see the officers. If you're talking about the officer in this video, I have to remember what his name is. But I won't. Trust me, I won't. Once I get his name, I won't forget it, because I'm gonna blast it all over the place. But our dysfunction as black males and black females is on display in this video.
Police records, and the footage has never been seen before. until now. Please note that all persons charged with a crime are presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in a court of law. On November 28, 2024, around 2 a.m., a police officer in Muskegon Heights, Michigan is approached by an intoxicated woman outside the Paradise Banquet and Event Center. Shariana then discloses a chilling allegation about one of his colleagues.
As soon as she started saying that, I was like, It was uncomfortable as yeah. I just said, like, look, MSP's coming in, they're going to take the report from you. Oh, my God. All right, well, I'm going to go make sure MSP's coming in.
Make sure your car camera's
on immediately. I don't want to be involved in none of that.
Yeah.
Realizing that the state trooper will take longer to arrive than expected, the officer decides to drive Shariana home, where she will wait to give her full report.
Okay, Shariana? Okay, get inside safe. I'm sorry for what's happened. I hope MSP gets out here as soon as possible and they can get in contact and talk to you about everything. Right. Michigan State Police.
At 3:14 a.m., the state trooper arrives.
You missed.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
So like this is crazy, man. This is Jerry Springer stuff. This is cops. This is the stuff, but it's exposing the total dysfunction that we have as Black people. Like we're dysfunctional people.
My name's Trooper Meek. I'm with the State Police. So Muskegon Heights PD kind of contacted me, said that she had made a complaint about one of their officers. So they kind of gave me a little heads up about everything that was going on, but I thought I'd just come here and talk to you directly to try to figure out a little more about what's going on.
I had a domestic dispute that happened a few days ago, and I don't know if it got reported or not.
Okay.
8 days earlier, on November 20th, Shariana called 911 after an alleged domestic dispute.
Richard Wilson is this Sambo's name. Sambo Officer Richard Wilson is a sexual predator. Sambo Officer Richard Wilson is a sexual predator. Say it to the moon. Sambo Officer Richard Wilson, Jigaboo Wilson, Sambo Wilson. Jigaboo is his middle name. Sambo Jigaboo Richard Wilson is a sexual predator. Sambo Richard Wilson is a sexual predator, and he need his ass whooped.
With the father of one of her sons, Officer Richard Wilson was the responding officer.
I knew that he was taking advantage of me being in that situation and me being vulnerable.
Mm-hmm. They gave him the right name Richard because he's a dick. See what I did?
Because he came back to my house.
Okay.
And brought me a mop.
Brought you a what?
He brought me a mop because I got my kicked.
Okay.
And the person that whooped my dumped pop and all over the floor, and just did a whole lot of extracurricular activities. Listen.
Mm-hmm.
His body camera was never on once he stepped foot right here, boom.
Shariana is certain of this detail because she claims that the light on the camera was turned off.
Richard
Wilson. Like, I see why your baby daddy be beating you up. You must got some fire here. You must got some fire. And I'm like, what?
Okay.
You can't make up nigga stuff. Like, you can't make up nigga stuff. You can't make it up. It just happens. You just have to see it. And if you didn't see it in real life or it's not captured on camera, you wouldn't believe it.
What are you talking about?
But remember when at large our behavior was not like this at large. Now it is. That's bad.
Mm-hmm.
I must got some what? That don't even justify me getting my beat.
Yeah.
But you saying it like you want me to.
You're right, Jay.
Yeah.
And then his was off and he kept grabbing my.
Back of your head?
Still
this is when Shariana said that everything took a turn for the worse.
Did he try to force anything or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like he sat right here on this couch. He sat right here.
Okay.
He pulled his
belts. Yeah.
Yes, he took that out and he pulled it down and he was like, suck it. I'm like, what?
Then what happened?
I said I cannot do that.
Okay.
You're an officer.
Now,
The trooper promises to immediately launch an investigation into Shar.
Pay attention to what she just said, because she don't be helping herself. She don't be helping herself, because she just said that the officer said, hey, put your mouth on it, and she said she can't do that. But pay attention to that for later in the video. Yes, Renee, we fall down, but we stay down. We fall down, but we stay down. Because we decided that being a sinner was so much funner than being a saint, so we stay on the dumb stuff. Yeah, so sad.
Ariana's troubling accusations, but little does he know this will not be a straightforward inquiry. As part of the investigation, the incident that first brought Officer Richard Wilson to Shariana's door was placed under the microscope and every moment scrutinized. On November 20th, 8 days before she spoke to the state trooper, Shariana made this call to 911.
Hi, I need to make a police report for the message, and I need to report damage to my house. It just happened like 10 minutes ago. I was cleaning the blood off my head.
10 minutes later, Officer Richard Wilson arrived at Shariana's house.
Your dick showed up.
Yeah.
There you go. What's going on?
You can come in. My son's dad came over here and assaulted me and ripped all the screens off my house. Did all this. Put his hands on me.
You did that?
Yes. Snatched my hair off. Broke my TV. All this. I just moved in here.
Amar Banks, the father of one of Shariana's sons, is a prison guard at the Michigan Department of Corrections, Ernest C. Brooks Correctional Facility. Shariana claims that Amar came to the house earlier that morning to pick her up in order to drop her sons off at school.
I have I think I got a concussion because I got knots right here.
He punched you in the head as well?
Yes, it's not right here and not right here. Right here.
So far, nothing in this interaction between Shariana and Officer Wilson would raise any suspicions or hint at the accusations to come. Yet that would all change.
You are looking to press charges, correct?
Yeah, he got. I don't give. I don't give him. No, you're not. I'm not giving you no more passes. None of that. I done went to jail for you, lied, all this for you, and even got on the stand and lied for you for the last domestic. Got on the stand and literally lied to the.
She didn't help us. Yep. See, the toxic relationships. The dude that you lied for still commences to putting his hands on you. Toxic relationships. Her and Amar are both crazy. Amar need his ass whooped too. Amar, along with Richard Wilson, need his ass whooped. They need to grow up. They need to grow wow. We need institutions similar to APAC if we want real power. Something. Yeah. hey. Trust me, that's probably the least of her issues is she talked too much. But it's insanity across the board. Insanity across the board for her and her baby daddy. And then this perverted sexual predator cop comes in, pulling his Richard out, preying on the young lady, because he saw what everybody else see. A vulnerable person in a vulnerable position who could get got, who most likely probably won't say nothing, but it backfired on him. That's why Richard Wilson, Officer Sambo Jigaboo Richard Wilson, need his ass whooped.
Judge and everything to say, yo, I don't recall. I'm standing on that, I don't recall. I don't remember. I don't recall. I don't remember. I don't recall. This time, I recall everything. You going down.
Shariana then makes a now ominous offhand joke about the soda she claims Amar spilled over her floor.
All right.
You got a mop? Sorry, oh my gosh.
Just as Officer Wilson prepares to leave, Shariana appears to have a change of heart.
I don't want to send him to jail. I don't want to do all of that. I don't, because I regretted this the first time he did this, and I didn't want to send him. I don't want to do this.
Just really think about it right now, like, because I get understand you love him that much, but it's not okay. It's not acceptable for him to keep putting his hands on you either.
If you can feel this nut right here. You feel that?
No, yeah.
Ooh, that hurts.
See, that's what I'm saying. So
That
you sure you don't want to get medical attention?
Why is he that?
As they're sitting there, Officer Wilson is called to another incident taking place nearby.
All right, so I'm gonna take this call over there. I'll come back and speak with you, and then I'll go make contact with him. You don't deserve it. Just understand that you don't deserve it. So don't think that way, that this is what you have to settle for. You deserve more. You deserve respect. And the sooner you start respecting yourself more, you'll realize that you don't need certain people.
He didn't think like the show back up with like backup or another officer there, somebody else who could, if your intentions were not predatory, and you up in the house like that, like nah, we could talk outside if your intentions ain't predatory. I'm just saying. But yeah,
just because they're doing a little bit to help you.
Officer Wilson can be seen turning off his body cam. What happens next is subject to intense debate. What is known for sure is that the day after Shariana disclosed the alleged incident to the trooper, Officer Wilson finally spoke with Amar about the initial domestic dispute between him and Shariana from the 20th.
How you doing, young fella? All right. It's kind of cold out here. I'm going to try to make this quick and brief. Last week on the 20th, your child's mom, Shariana, stated that you came over her house that morning and assaulted her like and said that you beat her up, tore her house up, and then left.
Amar shares his side of the story, claiming that his son wasn't even at Shariana's house.
So you never even seen her that morning? Okay. All right, so she's basically just coming up with a story. So does she deal with anybody else that would have assaulted her and that she would have put that on you, or?
I don't know. She
crazy.
Okay.
All right, so are y'all beefed out anything that she just, do y'all have issues all the time that she does this on the regular?
She got me. She quite a few issues before me. Like this past summer, she just trying to.
Because and I thought about that too, because it's a domestic incident. But yeah, if I'm going inside, especially if I don't have any nefarious intentions, I probably would not go inside by myself, or we're gonna talk about this on the porch or something like this. You know what I'm saying? But taking all the measures to make sure you protect yourself at all costs, and just being smart as a police officer. And then you turn your camera off while you're inside there. The fact that he turned his camera off too, that lets you know it's almost like he intended to do this. Like he had this on his mind, like, yeah, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna get her. That's why he showed back up to the house. Yeah, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna get her. But I think this gentleman here they getting caught up in lies and stuff like that too. But it's just like, yeah, Officer Wilson, Jigaboo Wilson, man, what's the point of having white supremacists when you got Negroes who behave like this? He doing the job for him.
She lied to me. She tried to lie on me. Said I assaulted her just previous summer, and then the police arrested her for lying to the police.
Oh wow! So she's done this before, like what she made a report again, and it came under investigation. She's actually lying.
While everything may appear to be above board with this interview, something sinister lurks just under the surface. The truth was only exposed when the troopers spoke with Amar themselves. At first, he continued to deny even being at Shariana's house on the morning of the 20th, but eventually he admitted this was a lie.
See?
He claims they argued, but was adamant he never hurt her or damaged her house. However, this was only the beginning of his admissions. He soon revealed that he actually knew Officer Wilson long before this incident.
So fast, dude, man. I hate males like this, man. I hate males like this. He need to lighten his skin up. He need to lighten his skin up because he making us look bad.
I seen him growing up like kind of like role model person. She was saying that the Officer Wilson had tried to make like some sexual engagements or whatever to her, but I'm like, I don't know, cause like, I don't know.
This is Negroes using the systematic stuff against other Negroes. I'm gonna use the system against you as a Negro toward another Negro. Who needs white supremacists when you got black folk that act like this? And remember, Dr. Runoko Rashidi told us that if white supremacy disappeared today, the actions of black people will continue in support of the system of white supremacy.
Well, I don't really know about that, man. Like, I've been knowing him for a little while, so I'm not sure if he'll come off like that.
Despite Amar's uncertainty, when Shariana spoke with troopers for a second time, she explained what happened after Officer Wilson returned to her house on the 20th.
Not even suggesting that I give him some head. He took off his belt and stuff. And he sat right here. I didn't know what else to do. Like, I had my own legal stuff going on. I was scared.
Listen to what you're saying.
She then makes a troubling admission, different from what she'd previously claimed.
I gave him.
For the troopers' investigation, Shariana even allowed them to photograph her.
So she did perform the act on him. She performed the act on him, but pay attention. That's why Buddy need to be castrated. He need to be castrated.
For demonstrating the act.
He said, keep this between us, and then he left.
In a strange set of circumstances, Amar became an important witness to Officer Wilson returning to Shariana's house for the second time.
As I already go pick up my son, Wilson's police car is still right there, and then I'm like, well, okay, I'm gonna just keep going on.
While driving past Shariana's house, he not only saw Officer Wilson's car, but texted Shariana at 1:05 p.m. saying, "Nice try," believing that she was filing a police report. This isn't the only shocking thing Amar reveals. He now admits that the two spoke prior to Officer Wilson turning on his body cam footage on the 29th when he arrived to interview Amar.
I guess he had talked to like a union person, something. I guess he had got a wind about what was going on with myself. He said that my baby mama had made some accusations against him. He said, man, talk to my mama and see what she got going on. I said, I'm trying to see if I can pretty much make this go away. But I'm like, nah, I can't make that go away. Pretty much, you scratch my back type and I take care of you type.
See?
With this disturbing revelation in mind, the footage from Amar's interview with Officer Wilson is cast in an entirely new light.
Oh, so that's what happened when you assimilate. When you assimilating, your whole mindset is assimilated to the system. You're gonna do what they do. You're gonna do what the supremacists do.
So basically, she has a history of these things.
She's pretty much like trying out to give him type things.
During Shariana's second interview with the troopers, she's asked to do one final thing, a recorded pretext call. With the troopers gathered around her, Shariana calls Officer Wilson.
Who gave you this number? This is not my work number.
I want to know if I'm going to get in any type of trouble.
Any type of trouble for what? I didn't do anything, and you didn't do anything, so what are you talking about? I never told anybody anything because anything didn't happen, so I didn't do anything, you didn't do anything. Only thing my body camera will show was me interviewing you.
So it's not going to show nothing else that happened, right?
Nothing else happened. I left and I went and took my other calls.
You left and you came back, right? Is they going to show that? What should I tell them if they ask me any questions?
What are you talking about? Like you tell them that I interviewed just like I did. I interviewed you and I left. You asked me to come back by to make sure he didn't come back, and I rolled back through that. He didn't come back by, and I went and interviewed him when I returned back to work.
Can you get in trouble for giving a police officer at all, period? He got a feeling.
You're doing a great job.
I can't get it out of him. He's trying his hardest not to, and he keep hanging up on him.
Officer Wilson eventually calls her back.
Listen, don't play with me on my phone like that. You're not going to play that game with me, Trip. That's my job. Ain't happening with me and you. And I don't play that. Don't do that. Please don't call.
That's wild.
I'm not playing that game.
What game?
Though Officer Wilson has once again hung up, it wouldn't matter. Shariana has found evidence that would change everything. She used a paper towel to clean herself after the incident, which the troopers find in her trash, and she also hadn't washed the shirt she was wearing at the time. This, along with her sweatpants and a couch cushion, were all taken to compare.
Well, see, she got DNA evidence, and so everybody is problematic. But like they just said, like I'm gonna just play it back what they just said about some DNA evidence that's linking people, but all of them are crazy. Her baby daddy, all of them have arrested development, all of them. But The DNA evidence is linking the officer to it.
Would change everything. She used a paper towel to clean herself after the incident, which the troopers find in her trash, and she also hadn't washed the shirt she was wearing at the time. This, along with her sweatpants and a couch cushion, were all taken to compare with Officer Wilson's DNA. The only person left to tell their side of the story was Officer Wilson. On December 9th, just a few days after Shariana's staged call, the trooper approached him.
I'm here because of the allegation that you're referring to, okay? And I'm not sure what your understanding is of what the allegation
that
is.
I asked for.
Okay.
Like, I didn't ask for but I'm just like this. I want to, that's why you in rep. No, I just want you in reputation because I don't know where going out at. Like all of this crazy.
During the course of the investigation, other incidents relating to Officer Wilson were revealed. He was previously involved in an alleged domestic dispute on June 18, 2024, with the mother of 4 of his children, Shamika. She alleged that after being accused of cheating on him, Officer Wilson pinned her on the ground in the front yard and she bit his finger. Neither of them filed charges. However, on June 25th, police were called again when Shamika alleged Officer Wilson ripped out one of her braids and hit her in the mouth. The prosecutor's office authorized an arrest warrant against Officer Wilson for domestic assault. Though it's unclear if he was arrested, this occurred about 5 months before the incident with Shariana.
So if you want to take a seat, I'd love to ask you some questions.
Okay, I'd rather have my lawyer present at this point. So.
This is all voluntary, okay? Again, this is all separate and aside from anything that you and Chief talked about, anything that your department has.
Okay. At this point in time, I'd just rather have a lawyer present.
Right, Renee.
Okay. So you don't want to answer any of my questions?
Right, just to get some head. Just to prey on a vulnerable person, just to get some head. You gotta, all of this happening just for that. Come on, man. You gotta be smarter. Man. But and you also a police officer, man. So the relationship between our community and the police officers ain't gonna get no better no time soon, especially with Buddy out here doing stuff like this. Bet you he fashions himself as an upstanding police officer, I bet.
Questions? No, sir. Okay.
He informed the trooper that he'd been placed on administrative leave until further notice.
This crazy girl, baby daddy told me that she's trying to lie on him.
According to court documents, Richard Wilson was charged with misconduct in office and neglect of duty. The charge of misconduct in office was eventually dismissed, but he pled no contest to neglect of duty. He was sentenced to pay a $300 fine and didn't serve any jail time. If you'd like to see select new videos early and help us keep uncovering.
What's one of the common themes from all the videos that we've seen? No real punishment. No real punishment. So why would Black people in this country, why would our relationship with officers of the law ever improve? Why would we ever see police officers as a whole in a better light? I know police officers. I know police officers personally. Some I grew up with, some I met along the way who are amazing people. But that doesn't overshadow the whole system. Same thing I was saying earlier about white people, right? You got some relationship with some cool, good white people, right? Good white. What that got to do with the system of white supremacy? Because it doesn't overshadow. Well, my friend Billy is not like, well, the system of white supremacy is. Billy might not be, but the system of white supremacy is. And what we're saying, going back from Sonya Massey, the jury said, okay, we know you shot her in the face and took her life for no reason, but we're going to get you the second-degree charge. And however, whatever the most lenient thing we can get for you, we're going to do that for you. Second video, a Black law enforcement officer who was a part of a drug bust was shot multiple times by his colleagues who was doing their job wrong, and nothing happened to them. The third video is a Black officer behaving like a white supremacist, behaving like a race soldier, sexually preyed upon a Black woman. They had all the DNA evidence and nothing happened to him, just had to pay a fine. We can't protect ourselves, Black people, properly. We cannot properly protect ourselves from the system of white supremacy. What are we going to do about it? I keep saying that. What are we going to do about it? We cannot properly protect ourselves. Are you happy with that? Are you okay with that? Are you fine with being vulnerable? Like at any moment, you could be picked on and picked off. And the community is not going to do anything about it. They might have a rally or a march or something like that, but there would be no real repercussions to the persons who violated you. So what are we going to do about it? Are we okay with that? What are we going to do different? Right? Jay says, the system has corrupt leadership, which breeds to allow misconduct. The new office see and learn on the job. Yep, what they can get away with. That's why the system will never be changed from the inside. When I hear black officers saying, I want to become a police officer because my plan is to change the system from the inside. That has never happened. What make you think you're going to be the one to do that? So you're going to change. You're going to be the single engine that changes a whole system that doesn't want to change. The system doesn't want to change. I can see if the system wanted to change. The system doesn't want to change. And you're going to be the one that spurs that change in a system that doesn't want to change. I think we keep forgetting that. We have all these ambitions. I'm going to be the black person that make things right in a system that doesn't want to change. We want the system to change. They don't want the system to change. We want it to change because we get no benefits from it. They don't want it to change because they get all the benefits from it. You got to think about that, black folk. When we out here rallying and marching for change, we should be rallying and marching harder for the change within our community than change within an enemy that has never had to change and has no will to change. We have to police ourselves so we don't have to be policed. Exactly. YNs exist because we bred them and we allow for the environment. The crazy little girls out here who doing all the crazy ratchet stuff, they exist because we created them and provided the environment and nurtured the behaviors. We rally harder to nurture Negro behavior, NIGGA behavior, harder than we do to rally behind constructive behaviors. If your behavior patterns aren't constructive, you probably a nigga. So which means you help support the system of white supremacy. Just look at the history of your behavior patterns. No matter what somebody says or whatever, look at the reality of the history of your behavior patterns. That'll tell you if you're a black person or a nigga. Certainly don't, right. It don't stop the misbehavior at all because we thrive on it. We thrive on it. We praise it. We celebrate it. We romanticize it. And then come back and complain about how we're getting treated by the system. But we have no intentions of changing ourselves because the system ain't going to change. We have no intentions of bettering ourselves because the system ain't going to change. We have no intentions of having higher thinking and existing in more cohesive and unified manners and loving, really loving on each other, not hating on each other, not demeaning each other, not demoralizing each other, not bringing each other down, not doing none of the crazy stuff. Right? Come on, black folk. You can't complain about the monster when you keep feeding the monster. You keep feeding the monster. You complain about the monster you feed. What are we doing? Let's not pretend that if we are all valedictorian that, right, no, that has nothing to do with that. That has nothing to do with it. All of us being upstanding citizens won't stop them. We're not being better so they can stop messing with us. We're being better so we can work better together. And the more we work together, the more cohesive we are, that helps to keep us safer. The better we work together, that helps to keep us safer. But we're being better so we can be better working together. So yeah. But man, Nemesis, great point. Great point. Way back in the day, we were ostracized. Yes, exactly. Now they are praised. If you're not on code, you with that sexy red stuff, they praising you, man. crazy. But you already know that lens to the simulated. So yeah. So hey, as a people, we should take the example of our ancestors and create our own cities. There are still some existing. Yep. But hey, it's about will, man. At the end of the day, it's about will. What's our will? Do we have the will to be better? Do we have the will? Do we really have the will to be better? Or we just like, fuck it? We just like, fuck it. White people in charge. Let them stay in charge. I'm just happy complaining. If you happy complaining, you a sucker. You're part of the problem if you happy complaining. That's all I'm saying. But hey, man, we done got through all our stories. It's been an hour and a half. I appreciate everybody who's been up in here. At this point, I'm beating a dead horse. We're either going to improve for ourselves to help protect ourselves, or we're not. Oh yeah, Jay, you're right. Some of us have the will, and that's why we show up over here. But that's why we also take this into our regular communities and do something better. Building real community. If you ain't building real community in real life, you're part of the problem too. So get up, get out, and do something. Stop complaining if you ain't gonna do nothing. So shout out to Jay Woods for being up in here. Kerwin Cooper Senior says, as long as we don't love ourselves and each other and accept our similarities and differences, things will not change for us. Our ancestors left it. Right. Everybody don't have to be the exact same. We don't have to agree on everything. We just need to agree. We just need to agree enough to be able to come up with a competent plan, a constructive plan to get us the way we need to go. So with that being said, Kerwin Cooper Senior, I appreciate you. My man Jay Woods, I appreciate you for being up in the building. As always, the real Nemesis X, thank you for being in the building. My lady Renee Woods, thank you for being in the building with us today. I appreciate you. FM UI8FZ, thank you. I appreciate you all as always. Who else was up in here? I passed it. Bungani, thank you for being in the building. The real PH Diva, thank you for being in the building. I'm gonna hit you up. Amina Muhammad in the building. CDX1SV, thank you for being in the building. Hope, I'm happy OG. I wish you would have watched the video. Not just unsubscribe because the thumbnail. You gotta remember, facts over feelings over here, baby. You say you're OG, facts over feelings. We got to do that. Glenn Dawkins, thank you for tuning in. That's how we do it. Hey, man, but you know, we win some, we gain some, we lose some. We're going to always do what we do. We're going to always keep rolling. We're going to always keep growing over here. So it's always, OG, I hope you come back. We have to keep it moving and the rest will follow. 100. There you go. The world has changed. The global South is bringing change outside the U.S. Yep. And we got to be better. And that's another reason why we're going to continue to be our best selves so we can continue to evolve as well. Love you all. Stay black. Be proud of your blackness. Be proud of who you are. Let's make sure we're going out every day, making ourselves better to make the world better. And with that, I love you all. And I see y'all on the other side. Peace.